Hello, this is Abhishek Rawal from expresscomputer.in, and today we have Dr. Murtaza Khorakiwala. He is the managing director for Wockhardt Limited, and he's going to talk about his views on digital transformation and the initiatives taken at Wockhardt as far as digital is concerned. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Dr. Khorakiwala, it's very important that as far as digital transformation is concerned, there has to be a top-down approach where the message is very clear from the top in terms of what is the roadmap for digital as far as any company is concerned. So as far as Wockhardt is concerned, sir, if you can talk about, how do you see it and what is the roadmap that you have set for Wockhardt as far as digital is concerned?
Thank you for the question. I think you're absolutely right that for any significant change initiative in a large organization, it has to be top down. So if you ask me personally, what I have done is, first I have tried to understand what digital means. So I have tried to learn about it. I have tried to read a lot of books, and I continue doing so. Read a lot of things that are happening all around the world. So most important is, first you have to be convinced, and you have to read a lot, and then you have to understand how you can apply that in your business, and develop conviction and faith as to how digital can be applied in your organization. It is not a simple process, it's not easy process. Since it is a new knowledge, there is also not a lot of data that is available in terms of success stories. So you have to be also open to the fact that you will do certain things, but you may not succeed, it will fail. So I would say, from a mindset point of view, one is develop conviction and belief that it will be important for your business. Second, have a mindset that you will fail as you move along. And the third is, look at digital in terms of how it is relevant to your business. It is not important that if somebody is doing something, I will also do exactly the same thing. It may not be relevant to your business model or to your business context. And therefore, what is very important is for you to identify what are the important success factors in your business model, what drives value for your customers or your business, and how by adopting digital it is going to create a competitive edge for you in the industry. Typically, everything in business have three criteria where you look at. One is in terms of cost. By adopting various kinds of digital initiatives, whatever you are doing, can you become more efficient? Can it save cost? So that is one parameter to look at digital. Second is, can you get more growth? Can your top line increase? So look at all digital initiatives that can improve your top line. Third, I feel is important, is value. From a value creation point of view, from a consumer point of view, or customer point of view, can you create more value for them? And if you find answers to some of these in the digital technologies, adopt it, try it out, explore it, pilot out various initiatives. There is no one answer that will be successful. It is important that, as it is an emerging knowledge, new knowledge, there is a certain amount of an R&D attitude that you must have, a developmental or research attitude. And therefore, you have to try out different things, pilot different projects in the organization, and see what is working, what is not working. And only through that kind of experimentation can you actually get into the digital landscape and game, and then evolve and mature as you go along.
Okay.
So as far as our company is concerned, I can tell you one of the areas where we have looked at it. We have a sales organization in pharmaceuticals that goes and meets the doctors. So we have thousands of people working in the field, and attrition in this is high. So one of the thoughts we had, is there a way to reduce attrition? Because reducing attrition helps us in terms of keeping contact with the customer, maintaining the business value, and also the entire cost related to attrition, hiring a person, training a person, and again doing that was detrimental to our all the initiatives that we take. So there is what we found out is that before a person leaves an organization, he has decided to leave at least 3 to 6 months before. And when that mindset is there with the employee, his level of engagement, his level of performance, his level of doing various activities in the field starts getting impacted. And if all that data points can be collected and processed with some computer logic and algorithm logic, then it is possible to predict attrition before it actually happens. And if this information is provided to their reporting manager, can they do certain things to prevent the attrition? So that was one tool that we have tested, and we have found that there is a high predictive value. And so like that, there are various tools that one has to apply in different contexts and see if it works.
Okay. So sir, a very important point that you mentioned, that there has to be a readiness to fail, and you should keep doing pilots so that how can you fine tune certain solutions that you're trying to design and develop for your organization. So as far as this tool is concerned, where you're able to predict when the employee is going to attrite, so is it an artificial intelligence based solution? Is it in a post pilot stage now where you will go mainstream with implementing this tool for the HR? How is it?
So initially it was a pilot that we have, and we have collected the data, and we have found that it is showing some high level of the predictive factor is there, and we can use it in terms of a business process. So once we have identified the tool and it is working, proof of concept is established, then it becomes part of a business process that we can then extrapolate and then make it as a part of an organizational process. That one of the data points we collect of the employees, like how we look at various indicators of employees, performance indicators, activity indicators. So this can be another data point that can be made available to the managers to from their performance management point of view.
Okay. And sir, also you said that as far as adopting digital is concerned, there are certain criteria that any company should evaluate. So can it save cost? Can it improve your top line? Can it enhance customer value? So when you are discussing this with your CIO, your CTO, your top management, or the concerned person, how do you trickle down this message? How do you kind of identify points from various people in your company, important CXOs? How does that happen? As in, how do you formalize it? Yeah.
Correct. I think this is a very good question, and that is where the challenge is, and that is where the combination of understanding the business processes and dynamics and what really is important from the business point of view, and understanding the technology that is available and the various tools that are available. And it is a combination of this business domain knowledge, understanding, and technologies, where one has to create a use case that if it is applied in this situation, what will be the impact and how it can help us. So it is an interaction that takes place between the technology experts and the businesses. And one of the things that our digital team is doing is meeting all the business heads and leaders in the organization, understanding their pain points if there are any, understanding what drives value for them, what is important for them, and then identifying through joint discussion what may be relevant use cases and tools therefore for those use cases, and then creating some kind of pilot projects around those, testing it, and then seeing how it goes. So basically you are right, it is something that you have to do where the technology experts and business experts come together and jointly create use case, and therefore then identify pilot projects.
Okay. And sir, also can you highlight certain specific initiatives taken by Wockhardt as far as it can be technology or it can be IT, if you can talk about that, certain initiatives or certain pilots that you are already doing, you're trying to explore, or certain specific things that you are trying to study personally as far from a Wockhardt perspective?
Yeah, I think one or two areas where we have already implemented. One is information visibility. There is a lot of data all around in the organization and outside, and sometimes we don't have the data to make the decision when we want it, and we spend sometimes a lot of time in asking for data, getting information reports, and then taking decision, and there's a lot of loss of time in the entire process. So is it possible to get data more real time rather than getting it later, and is it possible to get it more online automatically rather than a manual retrieval of data? So getting data faster, visualization of data through Tableau and some of the other visualization softwares that are there is one of the areas that we have looked at and taken up. Second area that we are evaluating is process automation. There are a lot of applications in terms of various business processes which today are done either manually, can get automated with the robotic RPA technology. So can we identify some of these business processes which today may take a long amount of time, use a lot of resources, and use a lot and is inefficient? Through RPA technology, can we automate some of these? So that is a couple of areas that we have looked at. We are also looking from a sales and marketing point of view, where information about our customer, information about the product availability, information about inventory, information about demand, all this can be available in a more contemporaneous way and live way, and improve the entire demand forecasting, availability of the products at the right to the right channel and to the right retailer, and reduce wastage of inventory and improve availability at the retail outlet.
Okay. Sir, any challenges that you would like to discuss that the pharma sector faces where technology can play a significant role, but we are still far away? There are solutions available, but due to certain reasons, companies are not doing it. So say for example, there are FDA inspections and, there are challenges on that side. So any role that technology can play here advance, because now we have artificial intelligence, blockchain, they all have solutions, but sometimes there's technology available, but due to certain reasons in the way the industry functions, it's not able to happen. So your views?
I think there are a lot of areas where the digital and all these technologies which are there can be used in even pharmaceutical industry in terms of FDA regulatory. I think if you look at operations, that is a manufacturing operations and quality, there are huge amount of applications that one can think of. Today that various manufacturing processes that we have, there is always some amount of batch to batch variability that is there. If there are online technologies that pick up the information on a batch to batch basis, we can better understand variability in processes and therefore predict batch failures maybe before they happen. Mm-hmm. Also, once we are able to understand that there is a drift in the process and variability, we can correct it before it actually happens. Similarly, I think in quality organization, I think fundamentally there is also technology that is now available that can check things. So all the roles in the organization, or all roles that are fundamentally checking roles, whether it is a quality checking, auditing role, or audit role, or inspection role, or checking roles, there are technologies that are available where the checking can be done by a computer automatically and far more efficiently and not make mistakes. And that entire aspect can be evaluated where it can be applied, but definitely there is a role and a scope over there.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.